Jawaharlal Nehru was an Indian anti-colonial nationalist, secular humanist, social democrat, author and statesman who was a central figure in India during the middle of the 20th century. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. On the birth anniversary of Jawaharlal Nehru, wishing you all a happy Children's Day. Nehru was second only to Mahatma Gandhi in leading the Indian nationalist movement in 1930s and 1940s. Upon India's independence from British in 1947, he served as the country's first Prime Minister for 16 years. Nehru championed parliamentary democracy, secularism, science and technology during the 1950s, powerfully influencing India's arc as a modern nation. In international affairs, he is well known as one of the founders of the non-aligned movement and concomitantly for steering India clean of the two blocks of the Cold War. A convicted author, the book he wrote in a prison, such as Letter from a Father to His Daughter in 1929, and autobiography 1936, and The Discovery of India in 1946 have been read and deliberated upon around the world. The son of Motilal Nehru, a prominent lawyer and an Indian nationalist, Jawaharlal Nehru was educated in England at Harrow School and Trinity College, Cambridge, and trained in the law at the Inner Temple. He became a barrister, returned to India, enrolled at the Allahabad High Court, and soon began to take an interest in national politics, which eventually became a full-time occupation. He joined the Indian National Congress, rose to become the leader of the progressive faction during the 1920s and eventually of the Congress in its totality, receiving the support of Mahatma Gandhi, who was to design Nehru as his political hire. As Congress President in 1929, Nehru called for complete independence from the British Raj. Nehru and the Congress dominated Indian politics during the 1930s. Nehru promoted the ideas of the secular nation state in the 1937 provincial election, allowing the Congress to sweep the election and to form government in the several provinces. In September 1939, the Congress ministries resigned to protest Viceroy Lord Linlithgow's decision to join the war without consulting them. After the All India Congress Committee's Quit India resolution of 8 August 1942, senior Congress leaders were imprisoned and for a time the organization was suppressed. Nehru, who has recurrently headed Gandhi's call for immediate independence and has desired intent to support the Allied war effort during the World War II, come out of the lengthy prison term to a much altered political landscape. The Muslim League under the Muhammad Ali Jinnah has come to a dominated Muslim politics in the interim. In the 1946 provincial election, Congress won the election, but the League won much seat reserved for the Muslims, which the British interpreted to be a clear mandate for Pakistan in some form. Nehru became the interim Prime Minister of India in September 1946, with the League joining his government with some hesitancy in October 1946. Upon India's independence on 15 August 1947, Nehru gave a critically acclaimed speech, Tryst with Destiny, when he sworn in as a Dominion of Indian Prime Minister and raised the Indian flag at the Red Fort in Delhi. On 26 January 1950, when India became a republic within the Commonwealth of Nations, Nehru became the Republic of India's first Prime Minister. He embarked on the ambitious program of economic, social and political reforms. Nehru promoted a pluralistic, multi-party democracy. In foreign affairs, he played a leading role in establishing non-aligned movement. a group of nations that did not seek membership in a two main ideological bloc of the Cold War. Under Nehru's leadership, the Congress emerged as a catch-all party, dominating national and state level politics and winning election in 1951, 1957 and 1962. His premiership, spanning 16 years and 286 days, which is to date the longest in India, ended with his death in 1964. Hailed as the architect of modern India, his birthday is celebrated as a Children's Day in India. Nehru served as a Prime Minister for 16 years, initially as an interim Prime Minister, then from 1947 as the Prime Minister of Dominion of India, and then from 1950 as the Prime Minister of the Republic of India. Jawaharlal Nehru showed his concern for the princely state of South Africa since 1920. During his presidential address at the Lahore session in 1929, Nehru has declared that the Indian state cannot live apart from the rest of India and their rulers must, unless they accept their inability limitation, go the way of others like them. In July 1946, Nehru pointedly observed that no princely state could prevail militarily against the Army of Independence India. In January 1947, he said the Independence India would not accept the divine right of king. In May 1947, he declared that any princely state which refused to join the Constituent Assembly would be treated as an enemy state. Vallabhbhai Patel and B.P. Menon were more conciliatory toward the princes, and as the men charged with integration the state were successful in the task. During the drafting of the Indian Constitution, many Indian leaders, except Nehru, were in favor of allowing each princely state or convening state to be independent as a federal state along the lines suggested originally by the Government of India Act 1935. But as the drafting of the Constitution progressed and the idea of forming a republic took concrete shape, it was decided that all the princely state, that is, convening state, would merge with the Indian Republic. In 1963, Nehru brought in legislation taking it illegal to demand secession and introduced the 16th Amendment to the Constitution, which make it necessary for those running for office to take an oath that say, "I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India."